you don't want to fill up that landfill with that. I mean, I know you would recycle that paper cup, but I mean, you having the heart for the earth that you do, I know you're not going to want to.
I wash it. I use it for 6 to 8 months. By the end, I'm drinking the cup. It's tough. It's tough, but worth it. Now, Sarah definitely doesn't want us to hurry up and get to the forecast. I'm sure she's enjoying the pitter-patter, but we will get to the forecast.
Are you guys ready?
I would say that I'll sit here and talk with you about the fact that you said slots. I take you as more of a felt man. I see you on the blackjack tables.
I do like some blackjack. All right, right now I'm going to double down on what is a really good forecast for Hampton Roads. Temperatures today going to be warmer than yesterday. Yesterday's high was 80. Today 84. You know what would really be the most beneficial? What would pay out the most for us? Rain. We've got that in the forecast. Not today. Today we stay dry. You can see that rainfall deficit, our yearly departure from normal. We are minus 5.06, over 5 inches below average for rainfall. We need it. We're going to see some significant rain, I think, coming up Thursday. We'll see a chance for showers tomorrow. A few showers, not a big drought buster there. But Thursday's different. Let's take a look right now at our forecast for today. Low 80s, plenty of sunshine. Sarah, if you were to guess, seeing that sunshine, with this being Cinco de Mayo, what would you think our UV index would be? Ballpark it.
9.
Okay, later this week it will. It will be up.
Is it
today,
lower?
I'll go 7.
Yeah,
I almost got that in.
That was it. All right, so that's still about 25 minutes before sunburn kicks in. So you guys do need the sunscreen, but we're getting to that time of year. Sun angle's getting higher, and we'll start seeing more of those 8s and 9s, and that's where you're out there for 20 minutes. Sunburn kicks in. You need to wear the hat, sunglasses, all that stuff. In addition to those responsibilities for your skin and your health, we also need to be mindful that there is an increased fire danger today. Now, what contributes to that? We're in drought right now. Moderate drought for the metro, severe drought for the outlying areas. And with that, we have warmer weather. When you have your temperatures warmer and your dew points remain low, you have a lower relative humidity. So very dry atmosphere, dry ground, and what we call fuel, the brush, the plants, the grasses. It's very dry right now. So you've got a lot of dry fuel. You've got dry, low humidity atmosphere. And then you've got gusty winds. So if there is a carelessly discarded match or cigarette butt, or you've got some machinery, farm machinery out there, maybe, working hard, and then it kicks a spark, or somebody sets an engine down that's a little hot and it touches something that's combustible, you get a brush fire going, and all of a sudden it can spread rapidly. We need folks to be careful. That includes all of the south side with the exception of Virginia Beach. I would still say be very careful there, but the components aren't all as great right there in Virginia Beach or down into North Carolina. For the rest of Hampton Roads, we have that elevated fire risk. How about some relief? When's it coming? Well, as I mentioned, today we're dry, low 80s, sunshine. Wednesday, isolated showers. Thursday, numerous showers. And as I'll show you with our Futurecast in a moment, we are looking at potentially soaking rain on Thursday. Friday should be dry, partly cloudy, slight chance of a shower on Saturday. Mother's Day, remember that Sunday, looking good. If you've got outdoor plans, maybe you want to take mom out to the park or take her down to the boardwalk or do something honoring mom. You've got good weather for it on Sunday. Monday into Tuesday, more rain chances. We need it. Today, we are looking at rain out across the central part of the country. I will give you guys kind of a little fun fact here as you look out across the western part of the U.S., and we specifically zoom in to, let's zoom in. That's what I wanted to do. Back across northern Colorado. What do you see there showing up? Denver. You see that, Sarah? That would be snow. Yes, a winter storm warning. Here we are talking about temperatures in the 80s here, and from around Denver and areas just down to the south of that, all the way up through Fort Collins and up to Cheyenne. They have the potential, when all's said and done with this round of wintry weather, some areas could see 8 inches of snow. They need the snow like we need the rain here. They really do, even though you think, who wants an 8-inch snowfall? They need that snowpack up in the mountains. They'll take whatever they can get. All right, we have dry conditions today. You see that storm system out to the west. There is also a severe weather threat out there, and I wanted to show you the tornado threat here across Arkansas. Look at that. Memphis, across northern Arkansas, some of the other communities here, including Little Rock. You can see Fort Smith level 1, but level 2 there for Little Rock and Memphis, areas up towards the Missouri Boot Heel, and those hashes indicating EF2 or stronger potential. There's also maybe a few stray isolated tornadoes in a part of the country you don't typically think about it. How about Burlington, Vermont? You get up towards Syracuse, some of these areas in upstate New York, potential there. It's just a slightly elevated risk, but they could see a stray tornado all the way up into Maine. So some pretty wild weather up there. All right, we'll quickly take a look at our future casts. And again, Sarah, if we need to take a break or if you need any questions, you guys feel good, feel free to jump in on anything. Today, sunshine, you guys want to see that rain chance. You're not going to see it today. Tomorrow, notice those showers starting off out to the west, some scattered showers kind of pushing in late morning to the north and west. I think we'll see a couple passing showers here south side. But the heavier rain, what's really going to bring us some relief, watch how this forms Thursday. This stops at midnight. So here we are looking at midnight. As we go forward, you're going to see the chances for heavier rain moving across the south side pre-sunrise and early in the morning. Another round of moderate to heavy rain. Man, that'd be great. If we got an inch to an inch and a half, that's kind of what the models are suggesting. That would really help with our drought situation. And then we dry it out late Thursday. Another round of wet weather potentially on Saturday, a few isolated showers, and then again early next week. Highs today near 84, lows tonight near 63, increasing clouds, and then tomorrow back up to 80. So warm today, mild overnight, temperatures tomorrow near 80, a few isolated showers possible. And then on Thursday, that's when the rain comes through. 74, the high there on Thursday. 70 on Friday, should be dry. Saturday looking pretty good, a chance for a few stray showers. Mother's Day's nice. I've already got plans to take care of my wife. Not my mom. My mom's back in Missouri. We'll be reaching out to her, but I'll take care of my wife on Sunday, getting her out and doing something fun she loves to do here local.
Does mom in Missouri, is it a FaceTime situation? Does she FaceTime?
We'll chat with her. My brothers actually got her. They're going camping. They're in
Okay,
good shape.
nice. Okay.
But anyway, on Monday, scattered showers and some more wet weather coming up on Tuesday. That is a 7-day forecast I think folks are going to be happy with because we've got heavier rain on Thursday, and again, more potential for significant rain Monday to Tuesday. And we managed to sneak in a few really nice days, including Mother's Day.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. A happy Mother's Day, both to your wife and to your mom.
Yep.
Shout out to Bro for camping. Big Bro or Little Bro?
Little Bro.
Little Bro's taking her
I was
camping.
the
Okay.
oldest, so yes.
You're the oldest of how many?
3.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Now that gives a whole new, we're peeling back the layers of Craig. You walk around with that natural aura, it's just like really.
It's the big brother
it's
thing.
the big brother in you.
As the big brother / kind of parental figure on this next to Sarah. Sarah's actually the mom of both of us. Before we go to break, and we're ready to go to break, can we get an update on the 757 on the Give Local?
Oh, yeah,
Can we
let's
do
see what
that,
we got.
Sarah? All right, the QR code's up there. What's the number?
6.
Come on, let me
Oh,
see
we
it.
just
There
had
it
a
is.
641.
It just keeps going up. So
Very
since
nice.
we've signed on about another 20,000 or so, and that's in the last, what have we been doing this now? About 15 minutes. Again, Hampton Roads, you guys are amazing. We're going to leave that QR code up. Again, if you have the ability to give, thank you so much. Our viewers and listeners are the best.
Okay, thanks very much, Craig. Anything else you want to talk about at all?
Nope, I think
Okay,
we're good.
Then we will go to a break. Let's do a quick commercial here on Live Impact News. When we come back, we have a live event happening in a courthouse that we are going to take some time with. And then later on, we have a special guest coming in to celebrate and to talk about Give Local, one of those nonprofits that will be receiving those donations. So a lot to come still here on Live Impact News. Shout out to Craig Moeller. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back to Live Impact News here on 13 News Now Plus. Let's once again talk about how special today is. It's Give Local 757 Day, and this is, oddly enough, the 13th anniversary of Give Local 757, a fitting number for us here on 13 News Now and 13 News Now Plus. We're looking to raise as much money as we possibly can for local nonprofit organizations. There's more than 260 of them that will be depending on these donations. If you're able to donate, you can scan this QR code that's on your screen right now. I'm looking right at it. It's that QR code right there. Scan it if you're able to donate, and it'll take you right through the process. It is quick, it is easy, and something I'm going to continue to stress today is that we are very aware of how difficult the situation is right now in the entire world, here in the United States, here in the Hampton Roads, when it comes to so many's wallets, right? We go to the gas pump, we go to the grocery store, and we're in a situation right now where there are some difficult price points out there. We understand that. We report on it every single day. We totally and completely get it. We do not want to come across as tone deaf in asking for these donations. If you are able to, we would greatly appreciate it. But we want to make sure that we do state that, with us and the work that we do, we are so distinctly aware of how things are not easy for everyone right now. And so if you're able to donate, please do. If you're not, thank you for watching, and we appreciate each and every one of you either way. No amount is too small, and that QR code you can scan at any point in time. $646,000 so far. We are immeasurably proud of that number and of each and every one of our donors and viewers. So thanks so much, and we'll keep talking about this throughout the day. Now, for the time being, let's shift our focus here. Let's go through some news that actually began yesterday, a trial that began yesterday. Frankly, the news didn't begin yesterday. The news began allegedly in December when there was again, an alleged incident which has led to charges being brought against NFL wide receiver Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs, one of the more prominent figures in the NFL over the last 10 years, and he has been charged with felony strangulation and misdemeanor assault and battery, again, stemming from a December incident. That trial began yesterday. A jury was selected yesterday. Opening statements began yesterday, and it continues on into today. Diggs has pled not guilty to these charges. So let's go out to the courtroom now and take a listen in as this trial continues.
Right. You didn't think she was going to go see somebody else's friends, correct?
No.
Yes. And it'd be important to you to know if those were Stefon Diggs' friends, right?
I suppose.
That'd be important to your investigation, wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Okay. And so another thing that was important, I think you already talked about, that was Exhibit 1. You got that right in front of you, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so Miss Adams had said there was an argument over text about money that ended in a physical altercation, correct?
Correct.
And you asked her for the text messages, right?
She offered them, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, but yes.
And you took them because
Yes.
accepting the text messages that led to physical altercation would be important, right?
Correct.
You want to have that.
Right.
You want to document that.
Right.
All right. And so that's what that is. You received those from Miss Adams by email, correct?
Yes, I did.
And then you documented them, you saved them, and they're sitting right there in front of you right now for trial, correct? All right. And looking at those text messages, if somebody deleted messages from that before they ever sent it to you, that would be important for you to know, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
If those weren't complete,
Correct. It would.
you would want to know that.
I'd want the whole picture. Correct. Yeah.
Okay. If I may have one moment, Your Honor. I have no further questions. Thank you.
No redirect. Commonwealth rests.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
To go to sidebar.
Okay, so there you see on your screen, there is Stefon Diggs sitting in that courtroom as this trial goes to sort of a brief break here during the proceedings. We're not able to identify the officer who was speaking right there, but a back and forth clearly occurring about a number of different details in the case. Now, we'll describe a little bit of what happened yesterday. A prosecutor described how Stefon Diggs' private chef was slapped and put in a headlock by the wide receiver, while lawyers for Stefon Diggs himself insisted he was innocent and that the violent attack never happened. Again, this stems from an alleged incident in December, and Diggs has pled not guilty to a felony strangulation charge and a misdemeanor assault and battery charges that have been things he's been accused of by his former private chef. Diggs, 33 years old, has declined to speak to reporters. He is in court at Norfolk County District Court in Dedham, Massachusetts, not Norfolk, Virginia here, but in Massachusetts. He played last season for the New England Patriots, which included a Super Bowl appearance. Prior to that, he was with the Houston Texans and more prominently with the Buffalo Bills and the Minnesota Vikings, both teams for which he was one of their best players. He now sits in a courtroom in the midst of this trial and currently has not signed with an NFL team. Now, Diggs is also somewhat well known within the pop culture space because of a recent relationship with Cardi B, an incredibly famous rapper and hip-hop artist. Cardi B, frankly, one of the bigger hip-hop artists in the world. She and Stefon Diggs were reportedly dating for some time over the course of the last year or so. So Stefon Diggs, even more well-known, even more name recognition than your average Pro Bowl wide receiver. And again, now in court as they work through these charges of strangulation and misdemeanor assault and battery. So we can go through more details, but it looks like this may be getting ready to start up again, a private conversation with Diggs. So what we'll do here is we'll toss to break. Hopefully once we return, the proceedings will have continued in full. If they haven't, we have plenty of other stories to go to, including Pete Hegseth and General Dan Kane giving a press conference early this morning about the state of the war in Iran and the Strait of Hormuz, the ceasefire, and everything that we reported on yesterday. And so we've got plenty to get to here. And we'll be right back with all of that in just a couple minutes. Okay, welcome back to 13 News Now Plus Live Impact News here, where we are going over a few different major stories of the day. But as we do so, we want to constantly remind everyone that it's Give Local 757 Day. As you can see, this QR code right here where you can donate right there. If you're able to, we would appreciate any donation that you're able to give. We're looking to raise money for over 260 local nonprofits, people who work right here in Hampton Roads to help the communities that we all live in. $652,000 so far. Anything you're able to give is greatly, greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for giving. And we'll be talking about this all throughout the day, including an interview coming up later on in this very show. For the time being, we're going to go back live out to a Massachusetts courtroom where NFL wide receiver Stephon Diggs is on trial as we speak. Let's go back and listen into the courtroom live right now.
Applications to look at the data and find out what data is stored there. And, I can put together reports of data that might be relevant to a case.
Okay. And so when you say data, what does that mean?
So for a phone, it would include the things that you would use your phone for. History of phone calls, text messages, pictures that you take with the phone, maybe some internet browsing.
Right. So when a user does all those things on a phone, is there kind of information recorded inside the phone tracking the user's movements?
It can. Yeah. Whatever the user does with the phone typically is stored on the phone.
Understood. I'm going to ask you to take a look at the binder in front of you, Mr. Perry. I'm going to ask you to turn to, I believe it's marked C.
Okay.
You see that front page there. It looks like it says Celebrate at the top right corner. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. What are we looking at there in Exhibit 3?
This is the first page of a report that I put together after preserving one of two of Mr. Diggs's phones. So this is the first page of one of those reports.
All right. And so the report you're talking about, fair to say that's a number of pages there in Exhibit 3, correct?
It is.
All right. And that contains data from the phone that you just mentioned from December 2nd. Is that fair to say?
That's correct.
I'm going to ask that you turn the page in Exhibit 3 to, there's a little number on the bottom right corner that says 113 on the right. It ends 113, I should say.
Okay.
All right, so I want to kind of direct your attention here to the two messages in the middle of the page. The first begins, you will be paying me out for the season and the money you said you would give me for my business, and continues. Do you see that kind of blue bubble that we're looking at there?
I do.
All right. What are we seeing on the page here of the report when you see the blue bubble on the left and the green bubble on the right?
So this is an exchange of messages from the two parties. And you might think like, oh, I know blue bubbles and green bubbles. That's familiar. Like blue bubble is an Apple iPhone and a green might be an Android. But in this case, it's just to distinguish between the two parties. So the color doesn't really mean much here in that both parties had iPhones. So these are all just iMessages. But the report is in conversation view. So it's meant to look like you're looking at phone. And so, the owner of the phone, Mr. Diggs, is the messages on the right in green, and on the left, they're messages from Miss Adams and they're in blue.
Okay. And fair to say, in terms of Mr. Diggs and Miss Adams specifically, that those are, you don't know Miss Adams, correct?
I do not.
You're just going off of the contact information in the phone and the cellular phone number on the page?
That's correct.
Please turn to the next page, ending 114. So, looking at this box on the top left corner of the box on the left, that page has a bubble that says, "In ruining that bitch life." Is that fair to say?
Yes.
All right. Up in the top left corner of that, there are two phone numbers. What are those two phone numbers? What's the significance of the data in the top left corner?
It's the contact information for both parties that are in this conversation. So you have a from number. The stored contact name is Mila Chef. And then you have the to, which is the owner of the phone who's receiving the message. That's the numbers in the top left.
Okay, and so would those be the two phones having the conversation in the iMessage chat?
Yes.
Kind of going down to the middle of the page, it indicates there's a time there that says 12/2/2025, 5:35:01 p.m. UTC plus 0. Can you explain what that means?
Yes, that's the time stamp when the message was read. And UTC is it's a universal time coordinated, which just means universal time, which is the time basically in London at the time. And it's kind of like a standard to base timestamps off of, where at the time of this message in December of 2025, we're not in daylight savings time, so our time zone is -5. So Eastern is -5 from that UTC time.
All right, so the UTC plus 0, you would need to subtract 5 to get to Eastern Standard?
That's correct.
All right, and so looking down at the bottom here of that same message, in the bottom right corner, it says 12/2/2025, 5:34, 43 seconds p.m. UTC plus 0. What's that?
That's the time the message was delivered to the phone.
And when you say the phone, that would be the user's phone?
That would be the user's phone, Mr. Diggs's phone in this case.
And again, the same calculation would apply. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
So that message was delivered to Mr. Diggs's phone at 12:34 p.m. Eastern Standard Time?
That's correct.
Looking at this box, the kind of corner, the bottom right corner we just talked about, you said that's when it was delivered to the phone, the user's phone. Is there any way any other way, I should say, for one of these blue boxes, one of these messages to appear in an iMessage chat?
No, I mean, it's just sent from the user that's part of the conversation that we see here.
Okay. And so the user in the right on the green, is there any way that that person could create a message on the other side of the conversation?
No, a user is not able to insert a message into a conversation just on one side of, in their own phone.
So a user could insert messages into iMessage on their own side of the conversation, but not on the side of the person they're talking to.
They can only send the message. They can't go into a conversation and just put a message in there. It has to be sent in that two-way communication.
Conversely, if the user of an iPhone wanted to erase messages on their side of the iMessage chat, would that be possible?
Yes.
If just directing your attention to the bottom right of page 114, there's a green box on the right. That's a message Mr. Diggs sent. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. If that message were deleted, would you be able to tell from the data that was extracted?
Possibly.
Okay.
And the reason why is that on an iPhone, if you delete a message, it actually gets retained for 30 days. So if you have an iPhone, you can go back and recover that message. Maybe if you deleted it by accident or something, you can recover it within 30 days. After 30 days, it's not recoverable.
All right. And so you could see the data for 30 days if a user deleted it, if you extracted their phone, correct?
Within that 30 days.
All right. How about if they deleted it and you just looked at the screen?
If they deleted it and you looked at the screen, no, you'd have to go to the menu and look at recently deleted.
Understood. If I may have one moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay, back here in the Live Impact studio, a bit of a lull there in the trial as lawyers and legal teams get organized here in the midst of their questioning. So what we're going to do is we're going to take another break here. When we come back, we're going to figure this out. We're going to continue to monitor this trial, but we do have some other things we want to get to. So stay with us. We got plenty to cover here on Live Impact News. Okay, back here in the studio, and we're actually going to stick with this Stefan Diggs trial right now. We're going to stay live in this courtroom for the time being. We have plenty of resources that we want to get to later in the show, but with this being live at this very moment in Massachusetts, we're going to go back out and listen into that courtroom, to that trial as we speak.
December 2025.
So the extraction report you did in April was beyond the 30 days, right?
That's correct.
So if someone had deleted messages from this, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Not from looking at this phone, no.
All right. Nothing further.
Anything further? No. Thank you, sir. You may step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so that was rather quick as they are switching out those who will be speaking at the stand now, answering questions. So what we'll do here is let's go to the press conference from this morning with Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and Joint Chiefs of Staff General Dan Kane. Of course, yesterday, a lot of reporting out of the Strait of Hormuz as, Hegseth speaks about how the ceasefire is still in place, but we know yesterday with changes to some of what was happening in the Strait of Hormuz, the United Arab Emirates says that they have been experiencing drone attacks from Iran. So that, of course, is a new round of attacks happening here. And then we also heard Americans attempting to end Iran's stranglehold on the Strait of Hormuz by sort of escorting ships through the Strait of Hormuz with elevated security through United States resources. So again, the ceasefire remains with a tenuous grasp here, but let's listen to Dan Kane and Pete Hegseth earlier today.
Well, as you know, President Trump has directed U.S. Central Command to restart the free flow of commerce through the Strait of Hormuz under the umbrella of Project Freedom. To be clear, this operation is separate and distinct from Operation Epic Fury. Project Freedom is defensive in nature, focused in scope, and temporary in duration, with one mission: protecting innocent commercial shipping from Iranian aggression. American forces won't need to enter Iranian waters or airspace. It's not necessary. We're not looking for a fight, but Iran also cannot be allowed to block innocent countries and their goods from an international waterway. Iran is the clear aggressor, harassing civilian vessels, threatening mariners from every nation indiscriminately, and weaponizing a critical choke point for its own financial benefit, or at least trying to. For too long, Iran has been harassing ships, shooting at civilian tankers from all nations, and trying to impose a tolling system. Iran's plan, a form of international extortion, is unacceptable. That ends with Project Freedom. 2 U.S. commercial ships, along with American destroyers, have already safely transited the strait, showing the lane is clear. We know the Iranians are embarrassed by this fact. They said they control the strait. They do not. So American ships led the way, commercial and military, shouldering the initial risk from the front, as Americans always do. And right now, hundreds more ships from nations around the world are lining up to transit. CENTCOM, along with partner nations, is in active communication with hundreds of ships, shipping companies, and insurers. All of these ships from all around the world want to get out of the Iranian trap that they have been stuck inside. As a direct gift from the United States to the world, we have established a powerful red, white, and blue dome over the strait. American destroyers are on station, supported by hundreds of fighter jets, helicopters, drones, and surveillance aircraft, providing 24/7 overwatch for peaceful commercial vessels, except Iran's, of course, which is why our ironclad blockade remains in full effect as well. In fact, 6 ships tried to run the blockade out of Iranian ports as Project Freedom commenced, and they were all turned around. This is more than strategy, it's also humanitarian. By breaking Iran's illegal stranglehold, we're protecting the lives and livelihoods of sailors from dozens of countries, securing global energy routes, and preventing shortages that hit the world's poorest people the hardest. Once again, America is using its strength to lift up others. Iran is trying to subjugate the world. To what remains of Iran's forces, if you attack American troops or innocent commercial shipping, you will face overwhelming and devastating American firepower. The president has been very clear about this. We prefer this to be a peaceful operation, but are locked and loaded to defend our people, our ships, our aircraft, and this mission without hesitation. To Iran, let innocent ships pass freely. These international waters belong to all nations, not to Iran to tax, toll, or control. To our partners, allies, and the rest of the world, this is a temporary mission for us. As I've said before, the world needs this waterway a lot more than we do. We're stabilizing the situation so commerce can flow again, but we expect the world to step up. At the appropriate time and soon, we will hand responsibility back to you. To the incredible Americans executing this mission right now, simply thank you. Your courage, your readiness, your unmatched professionalism and precision are why the world can breathe easier today and every day. You are and always will be the greatest fighting force in human history, unmatched always. Project Freedom is underway. Commerce will be flowing, and America is once again leading with strength, clarity, and purpose for the benefit of the entire world. Our will is unshakable. God bless our troops, and God bless the mighty United States Navy as well. Mr. Chairman, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. On Sunday, at the direction of the President, CENTCOM initiated Project Freedom with the objective of facilitating the safe passage of international commercial shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. Over the past 7 weeks, Iran's repeatedly threatened and attacked commercial shipping in the strait in order to effectively cut off commercial traffic and damage the global economy. By obstructing one of the world's most critical maritime checkpoints, a vital transit route for approximately 1/5 of the global oil consumption, Iran is weaponizing the global supply chain. This action disregards established navigational rights and the law of the sea, and the regime led by the IRGC is effectively attempting to hold the entire global economy hostage. Let me give you an update of the last few days of activities, and if you take a look at the map here, as the Secretary said, the United States has established Project Freedom to open up the Strait of Hormuz. This graphic highlights the kinetic engagements that the Iranians have attempted to make or have taken against the region. The green dots and blue dots show the groupings of commercial, cargo, and tanker vessels. And the United States has established a significant presence over the strait here in order to open up the free flow of commerce, noting the blockade still continues along the eastern flank. The map shows the examples and samples of Iranian attacks against commercial vessels in the strait, as well as the Gulf of Oman and up in the Arabian Gulf. Since the ceasefire was announced, Iran has fired at commercial vessels 9 times and seized 2 container ships, and they've attacked U.S. forces more than 10 times, all below the threshold of restarting major combat operations at this point. You can also see the group of tankers and cargo vessels in the U.S. blockade line, as I mentioned. As a result of Iran's indiscriminate attacks across the region, there are currently 22,500 mariners embarked on more than 1,550 commercial vessels trapped in the Arabian Gulf, unable to transit. In addition to shipping, Iran has continued to deliberately attack its neighbors. Just yesterday, Iran attacked Oman once and the UAE 3 times, including an attack on Fujairah oil terminal, which was successfully defeated. They also launched cruise missiles, drones, small boats at U.S. forces defending commercial shipping in the Straits, and United States Navy MH-60 helicopters and Army AH-64 Apache helicopters successfully defeated those threats. Thus far, today is quieter. Let me describe this defensive operation just a few clicks down for you. As the Secretary said, Project Freedom is designed to protect commercial shipping and help restore the flow of commerce through the strait and sustain freedom of navigation. CENTCOM has established an enhanced security area on the southern side of the strait that is now protected by U.S. land, naval, and air assets to help defeat further Iranian aggression against commercial shipping. I'd like to share a little bit more about U.S. capabilities, but for operational security purposes, I'm not going to get into specific details out there. On the surface, guided missile destroyers and other warships are detecting and defeating Iranian threats. This includes fast boats and one-way attack drones. In the air, more than 100 fighters, attack aircraft, and other manned and unmanned aircraft, synchronized by the 82nd Airborne Division, are in the air 24 hours a day, providing defensive overwatch for the enhanced security area and its approaches that I discussed. These forces are comprised of over 15,000 American service members and have established localized air and sea control to protect against Iranian threats. Commercial vessels that transit through the area will see, hear, and frankly feel U.S. combat power around them on the sea, in the skies, and on the radio. And as of this morning, as was mentioned prior, 2 U.S. flag merchant vessels have transited, and we anticipate more to transit over the coming days. Further up the Gulf, U.S. Naval Forces Central Command continues to work to identify and mitigate any threats. Beyond Project Freedom, CENTCOM and the rest of the Joint Force remain ready to resume major combat operations against Iran if ordered to do so. No adversary should mistake our current restraint with a lack of resolve. And the President has said, as the Secretary has, that now is the time for those with equity stake in the strait to come assist. Before I turn it back to the Secretary, I want to take a moment to highlight part of our joint force today. And today I want to talk about the paratroopers of the United States Army 82nd Airborne Division. When the President or the Secretary need immediate, scalable, and lethal combat power in CENTCOM or elsewhere, the All-American Division answers the call. The 82nd is the core of our nation's immediate response force and ready to deploy within hours of notice. These paratroopers are capable of accomplishing any mission in any environment, constantly training, constantly ready to jump from Air Force aircraft into ground combat and seize key terrain if ordered to do so, just like their predecessors did in Sicily and Normandy in World War II, or to secure or enable the follow-on forces to flow into theater as they did in Grenada or Panama. They can do the range of missions from counterinsurgency to counterterrorism operations to power projection, as they have many times over the course of the history of this great division. They can do all these things because they're incredibly well trained, well equipped, and well led, but also because of the indomitable spirit of the all-American paratrooper. Every single one of them volunteered for this role, volunteered to go to airborne training, and volunteered to serve. But this division is now more than just a formation that we use for forcible entries. For example, just today, they are out there coordinating, integrating, and synchronizing land, air, space, sea, and cyber forces using joint all-domain command and control. They use next-generation tactical networks that are AI-enabled to augment intelligence and operations, and they seamlessly synchronize all of these effects and are doing so in support of Project Freedom as we speak. The relentless focus on technical innovation allows the commanders out there in the field to see, sense, and understand the opportunities that are in front of them, along with the associated risks, and make smart decisions out on the objective. With incredible courage, tenacity, and grit, they are going all the way every day, and whenever the nation calls on them, they are there to answer the call. We are grateful for their service and their leadership. Lastly, before I close, as I often do, I want to remember some of our fallen. Today we remember Sergeant William Rivers, Specialist Brianna Moffett, and Specialist Kennedy Sanders of the 718th Engineering Company, U.S. Army Reserves, out of Fort Benning, Georgia. They were tragically killed on January 28, 2024, when attacked by an Iranian-backed proxy force at Tower 22 in Jordan. We continue to carry on their memories. We remember their names. We remember their families. And the Secretary and I are deeply grateful for all of our deployed forces who are out there doing our nation's work. And, sir, with that, I'll kick it back over to you.
Very good.
Okay, General Dan Kane finishing up with his comments there. So we are going to take another break. That particular press conference will go to a Q&A. When we return, we may have time to listen in on that. The Stephon Diggs trial appears to have gone to some sort of break. We are expecting sometime soon here for President Trump to be signing a new proclamation. We're still waiting on that live feed to come up. So we've got a lot of things that we're sort of in and out of right now that we're paying attention to, but that have not fully and totally taken off. So what we'll do is we'll go to break here. When we come back, we may spend more time with that press conference. We're keeping an eye on this live board as well. So stay with us. Okay, welcome back to Live Impact News here. Let's go to a live look at San Pedro, California right now. This is currently happening as we speak. There you see a lone firefighter spraying water into a pedestrian tunnel, battling a fire that's been burning in that tunnel for some time this morning. We're getting a lot of our reporting here from ABC7, one of our affiliates in Los Angeles. This was posted as early as 9:47 a.m. is the most recent update. So this has been happening since early this morning. And as you can see, this particular firefighter is just a steady stream directly into that tunnel to try and prevent that fire from sort of reigniting. And as you can see, there's sort of debris in and around that area. There's a tent over on the left. There's maybe you can see one of those box fans on the right, what may be some bicycle frames, if I'm reading that correctly. So this is an area that does see a lot of pedestrian traffic, and unfortunately we're going to have to come back with our updates on this fire because President Trump is in the Oval Office getting ready to sign that proclamation. So we're going to go live out to Washington, D.C. We'll get more details on that fire for you in just a little bit.
Conditions and champions and physical fitness and all of those things that I work so hard at on a personal basis. I work out so much, like about 1 minute a day max. If I'm lucky. I want to thank Secretaries Pete Hegseth, who just gave a great news conference with General Raisin Kane, and that was really good. And you're doing very well, aren't you? They don't like playing games with us. They don't like it at all. You'll see that. As time goes by, you're going to see it. I think you've already seen it. We basically wiped out their military in about 2 weeks. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's done an incredible job. Scott Turner, that everybody knows. And a legend, Linda McMahon, head of education in our country, and she's doing a fantastic job. They all are. We're also pleased to be joined by respected sports leaders and members of the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. We really have some incredible people. It's like a who's who. Bryson, how many do we have on the council total?
Oh, it's got to be upwards of 30, actually.
Yeah, a lot, and
a lot of great athletes.
all top.
Yes, sir.
If they weren't really good, we don't allow them. You're going to be really good. Like Gary Player, as an example, he won 168 tournaments over a very average career. You know, think of it. He won 168 tournaments, 18 majors, 9 and 9 senior. He has more championships than anybody, national championships than anybody. And I played with him. He's very proud of it, actually. He played with him on his 90th birthday. He very easily, on a tough course, from 6,800 yards, he very easily shot a 70. And it was the easiest 70. And normally, if you shoot a 70 and you're 90, you'd run around so excited. Gary's like, all right, let's have a little lunch. He was the most unexcited you ever been. Because he's been doing it all his life. He's been winning top 3 in history, in my opinion. I don't think it's my opinion. Just based on the record, Gary is top 3. You have Jack and Tiger and Gary, greatest golfers. So thanks for being here. And as you know, we have the U.S. Open champion, and he won 2 U.S. Opens, but that last one was unbelievable. He had I think Gary's one of the greatest shots ever hit to win a U.S. Open, certainly. One of the top, they say one of the top 3. I don't know what the other 2 are. But he hit an unbelievable sand shot, sank a 4.5-foot putt, and he won the U.S. Open. And he's been a great golfer from the day he was born, if you believe in genetics, because I do. But he won, he won the U.S. Amateur years ago, and he won it quite easily. But he's a great person and a great friend of mine, Bryson DeChambeau. And thank you, Bryson. And you're very much in charge of this whole operation with the sports. He's so much into physical fitness. All you have to do is take a look at him. And you say, why is he even doing this? Because I think if you didn't work out at all, you'd still look almost like you do right now. But you are doing great. And everybody respects Bryson. He's the longest hitter in golf. And he's straight. And frankly, maybe the best part of his game, Gary, is he's a great putter.
Absolutely.
You played with him, right?
And an asset to the game.
And he's a great asset, and he's a great person. And we have, along with the University of Florida's basketball coach, Todd Golden. Todd, where's Todd?
Right here.
Todd, hi, Todd.
Great to see you, brother.
And what a job, by the way, what a job you've done. I see that I'm a little busy to watch the games, but I always see your team is right up there.
Yeah.
You're doing a fantastic job as a young guy. An American hockey hero, TJ Oshie, who's one of the best hockey players in the world. TJ, it's good to be.
Thanks for having me.
How's your golf game? The hockey players, Bryson was saying, the hockey players seem to be the best of the athletes. Seem to be the best golfers. You know?
It's the greatest game.
Yeah, it's great.
Fun to play.
And he's a good golfer. He's a 3 handicap, maybe better, right? That's very good.
Gotta work on the
But
putt.
stick,
Right, Gary?
right?
Yeah.
But stick to hockey.
Yeah.
Right. As a 3, he has to stick to hockey. Bryson. That's great. What a career you've had too at a young age, and professional baseball pitcher Noah Syndergaard, sometimes referred to as Thor, and he looks like Thor to me. That's where is he? It's very hard to make. You look great. And as a man, I wouldn't want to get into a fight with him, I can tell you. That would not be a good situation, Gary. This year we celebrate 250th anniversary of our country, and it's our nation's founding. It's a big deal. In addition, we have the World Cup, which is just now started, and we have the Olympics. I got them both, and I was very proud of myself. I tried to say I got the 250th also, but that didn't work out too well. But I did get both the World Cup and I got the Olympics, and I was very proud of that. But I was very sad actually because I got them in my first term, and I said, "Oh wow, I'm not going to be able to go as president because they were in 6 years, so I wouldn't be president." I thought I'd easily win the election, which, by the way, I did. And unfortunately, bad things happened. It was a rigged election, and I said, well, I'll do it again. I had the ultimate poll. I did so well, and I had the ultimate poll, and we won in a landslide. We won every single swing state. We won the popular vote. We won everything you can win. We won 87% of the counties in the United States. And I ended up with the Olympics, and I ended up with the World Cup. And very importantly, maybe the most important, is we have the 250th anniversary. And on June 14th, we're going to have the UFC, and the biggest fight they've ever done by far. It's the hardest ticket I've ever been involved with. And they're building a 5,000-seat stadium right by the front door of the White House, and then they're going to have anywhere from 75 to 100,000 people on the park right past the White House with 8 tremendous screens. And then we have Roger Penske. So that's Dana White's dream, what that is. It's going to be amazing. And then we have Roger Penske, who's going to have a big championship Indy around the Capitol and the Indy racers, and he's been trying to get it here for 25 years. And he said, I came to Washington exactly 121 times, and I was never able to get it. I came once to see you, and we had it done in a half an hour. And he's fantastic. He's won 20 Indianapolis 500s. Can you believe that? Other countries, and I say it all the time, I gave him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, like I gave to Gary, too, because of his career. And then Roger, on his 18th, I called him. I said, come on, I want to give you the president. You won 18. Japan, Germany, all these countries, they spend billions and billions of dollars, and they don't, it's very hard for them to win. They don't win very, very much. They spend all that money, and Roger just wins it all the time. So I gave it to him on the 18th win, and since then he's won, that was 4 years ago, since then he's won 2 more. So he's going to be here with the Indy cars, and it's going to be their biggest race maybe ever. And they're going to be circling the Capitol. We have Pennsylvania Avenue closed down, and I said, do you like the course? He said, I love the course. I said, pick the best course. We'll get it for you. Don't go the easy way. Pick the best roads. I don't care. It doesn't matter. And he picked he said it's as good as you can get. And unfortunately, he picked the most important roads in the city, which is a little tougher. But we got it done for him quickly, and that's going to be in August. So we have a lot of really exciting things happening. So today I signed a proclamation recognizing National Youth Sports and Fitness, and I'll also sign the very first copy of the new revitalized Presidential Fitness Test Award, a certificate in recognition of achievement of the gold standard of physical fitness. And this is something that Bryson DeChambeau wanted to do very badly. Bryson's amazing. I mean, he's somebody that can put on 25, 30. At one point, I guess he put on almost 50 pounds. You remember, he looked like a linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he decided he didn't like himself at that weight. It was all muscle, Gary. It was like crazy. He looked like a massive football player. You wouldn't want to play him in hockey. And he said he didn't like it. He developed too much speed. This is a problem with people. He had too much speed. He wanted to bring it down a little bit. So he lost. He can put on weight like up and down like a yo-yo. And he doesn't take the shot, okay? He doesn't need the fat shot. I said, do you ever take this shot? He didn't even know what the hell I was talking about. What shot? No, he can put it on. He's a scientist. He's like a scientist with his body. He's a great guy, and he's an absolute champion, so I appreciate it. But Bryson really wanted to bring it back, because we are bringing it back. It's something that's a lot of people, the wrong people probably were involved, I don't know. But this is a group of people that physical fitness is everything. Gary Player, by the way, you talk about golf, but he was always considered in the best shape of anybody. He was long ahead of the rest of the world. Now you see all these guys have a 28-inch waist. They walk down, it's like robots, right? But Gary was always, he was way ahead of everybody else. From the late 1950s until 2013, grade schoolers across the country competed against each other in the presidential fitness test, but others. And then we had the Obama administration. Wonderful, wonderful person. Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? We had the Obama administration, which phased out this wonderful tradition of physical fitness. Thank you, Barack, very much. Great job. And we're bringing it back. We're bringing it back. My administration's working very hard to defend America's cherished athletic traditions and pass our values of excellence and competitiveness to the next generation. So important. We're working on historic reforms to save college sports, and we banned men from competing in women's sports. That was sort of an easy one. They say, you know, the radical left says, that's an 80-20 issue. No, it's 99-1. They say 80-20. Who are the 20%? I've never met anybody. Nobody's ever come up. So I've been president for 5 years. And nobody's ever come up to me and say, sir, you have to allow men to play in women's sports, you know. I've never had one person say it's really important that we allow women to be challenged by men in women's sports, and it doesn't work. So we did that, and with the help of Secretary Kennedy, who's with us, we're striving constantly to make America healthy again. And that's what we're doing. We have unbelievable numbers coming. Bobby will mention it. We have unbelievable numbers coming. So these next few years will be a golden age for American sports, just like it's a golden age for America. You know, we hit an all-time high stock market today, despite that we're in a little skirmish, military. I call it a skirmish because Iran has no chance. They never did. They know it. They express it to me when I talk to them. Then they get on television. They say how well they're doing. And they have no Navy, totally wiped out. They have no Air Force, totally wiped out. They have no anti-aircraft capability, totally wiped out. No radar. They have no leaders. The leaders are wiped out. The whole thing. And then I read the papers, and they say how well they're doing. They're not doing well. That's why you have no credibility. No credibility. The news, the fake news, has no credibility. But the President's Cup, it's going to be something, and we're going to have that. We're going to do very special presentations to Johnny, who, as you know, is the commissioner. He's a fantastic person who runs the soccer. And I don't know if you know this, but so more tickets have been sold earlier than at any World Cup they've ever had. And the numbers are more than double. They've never seen anything like it. So it's really soccer. I don't know if soccer is taken off or not taken off, but the World Cup is doing numbers like they've never done. They've never done anywhere close. And we have the Patriot Games in honor of our 250th anniversary this fall. It's going to be all on television. And with that, it's like the ones that we have here. We're going to continue to win. Our country is doing great. We're breaking records in every way. And I know it's too bad, but I had to do it. We can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. You might be too young for this. I don't know if I want. They probably know. They probably know better than most people. But you can't let a bunch of lunatics have a nuclear weapon, or the world would be in trouble. The world would be in trouble. So we just hit records on the Dow. It was supposed to be done in 5 or 6 years. Somebody said it couldn't be possible to reach 50 on the Dow, and I reached 50 in the first year. And then I reached 7,000, and by the way, just set a new record. The S&P just set a new record, so much higher, 7,500. But they said even harder than 50 on the Dow is getting to 7,000 on the S&P. We did that by the end of the first year, all before the end of the first year. Gary, so think of that. They said we couldn't do it in 4 years, and we did it at the end of the first year. And then, you ever have this? And then I called all my people and I said, we just set every record in the book. The economy is going great. I ended 8 wars. Nobody else ever ended a war. And the person that won the Nobel Prize, Maria, she's a good person. She said, I don't deserve this. This deserves to President Trump. There's never been a man that deserves a Nobel Prize. He ended 8 wars, including India, Pakistan, which would have been a nuclear war. 8 of them. And I called everybody in, Gary, and I said, you know what? We just broke every record. And now we're going to take a hit because we have to make a journey down to Iran to take the nuclear weapon. They would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks. Remember, we sent that beautiful B-2 bomber in, and we blew up their nuclear potential. It was obliterated, for those that are not aware, and to a point where it would take them weeks to dig down, and we wouldn't let them dig down. We have our eyes on it all the time. But it was a very important thing. So we would have had an Iran with a nuclear weapon, and maybe we wouldn't all be here right now. I can tell you the Middle East would have been gone, Israel would have been gone, and they would have trained their sights on Europe first and then us, because they're sick people. These are sick people. And we're not going to let lunatics have a nuclear weapon. The power of a nuclear weapon is something I don't even want to talk about. It's not going to happen. And we have beaten them badly. They're talking, now they're reduced to little boats with a machine gun on the front of them because they had a Navy of 159 ships. Every single ship in the first week was, right, Pete? Every single ship they had is resting underwater, right? At the bottom of the sea. They have no Navy. It's totally wiped out. Same thing with their Air Force. So we're doing well. But it's all about, having a great country. And one of the things I think that when they talk about physical fitness, one of the things I notice about friends of mine, all of the great athletes here, is their mind is better than people that aren't fit. It's because I think a mind, once you hit a ball well, or you do whatever it is that you run well, or play hockey as great as you play it. But once you obviously have to have a certain physicality. You can't have somebody with a great mind and zero athletic talent, right? But when you get up to that league, it's all about the mind. The mind is so important. And these people express it, I think, better than anybody. So with that, I'd like to ask somebody that's done really an incredible job. He has got some group of people that love him, some big group of people. It was a big day when he endorsed me for president. Very unusual, because I happen to be a Republican. I would say that Republicans were not too big in the Kennedy family, but they're big now because he's the biggest in the group, and everybody respects him a lot. He's doing a fantastic job. So, Bobby, would you say a few words, please?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Almost immediately after my uncle was elected in 1960, he came across some federal data that showed that 5% of American kids were obese. And that was more than double the European number. And he became very concerned that Americans were becoming soft. And he published an article before his inauguration called The Soft American, in which he said that there's a national security issue. It threatens our economy. We need a vigorous population that is in good shape spiritually, morally, physically, if we're going to continue to exercise leadership around the world. And he launched the physical fitness test, which became a milestone for my generation, for several generations after me. It was an enduring rite of passage for us that everybody in my generation remembers. It was a benchmark also because we did pull-ups, sit-ups, shuttle runs and a number of other events, and it was a benchmark for measuring national physical fitness. Around that time, my uncle came across correspondence between Teddy Roosevelt and the head of the commandant of his Marine Corps. And Teddy Roosevelt asked him, what are the metrics? What are the physical requirements for a Marine? And Roosevelt, or the commandant, wrote him back saying that a Marine had to walk 50 miles in a single day with a 30-pound pack. My uncle wrote a letter to his commandant and said, can today's Marines do the same thing? The following day, he had a cabinet meeting. It was on a Friday, and he had private cabinet meetings, unlike the ones that we have to go through here. My uncle was, I'll just say this, my uncle was proud. He was the first president that did televised press conferences. And he was very proud. He did more press conferences than any president in history. He did 64 in his 1,000 days in office. This president does that every 2 months. He does a press conference every day. Our cabinet meetings, for better or for worse, are also televised. But it's the most transparent administration that we've ever seen, the most accessible administration in history. And he went into that cabinet meeting, that private cabinet meeting that morning, and he said to the cabinet, one of you has to do a 50-mile hike this weekend to show the American people that we're in shape. And this cabinet could have done it. I mean, we have a bunch of thoroughbreds on this cabinet. Pete and Scott and Sean Duffy and Linda and Tulsi and Doug Burgum and Jameson and all the rest. There's a lot of people who could probably do a 50-mile hike.
What about me? You didn't mention mine. I could
This
do,
guy walks
think I could
9
do it.
miles a day on a golf
do it.
course every weekend, so he could do it in the breeze.
When I'm not using a car. Go ahead.
My father was the only one who could do it. And he went into the Justice Department that night, and he had a bunch of guys in the Justice Department who were former Marines who had gone to Harvard on the GI Bill and played on the same football team, and he hired them all when he came into the Justice Department. He said, you guys are going on a 50-mile hike with me tomorrow. And they got up at 4 a.m. and they started on the C&O Canal towpath, which was frozen. It was the middle of winter. And they were going to walk to Camp David. One by one, they each dropped out. My father was the only one who made it.
Okay, we're back here in the Live Impact News studio as that event at the Oval Office is ongoing. You heard the foundation of what that's about, bringing back that presidential fitness test. It's certainly something I remember from my time in school. And as you can see, some sort of luminaries from the sports world there, Bryson DeChambeau, Gary Player, Todd Golden, the head coach for University of Florida basketball, TJ Oshie from the Washington Capitals, won a Stanley Cup with the Caps. And throughout the course of that, there was quite a bit of talk about the presidential fitness test, but we also got some talk from President Trump about the war in Iran. If you've been listening, you heard actually quite a bit of content about the war in Iran, a lot of which we have actually heard from President Trump before. But now Robert F. Kennedy Jr. speaking at that Oval Office event. But we have to come back into the studio here and take a quick break because we have a very special guest coming up right after this. We are going to have actually multiple special guests here in studio to talk Give Local 757. We've been talking about it all day, and now we get to really dive into this event, how special it is, who it's going to help, and all those sorts of things. That's coming up next on Live Impact News. All right, welcome back to Live Impact News here on 13 News Now Plus. We're going to really dive into Give Local 757 now. As you can see, that QR code still on your screen right here. I'm looking right at it, the QR code right in this area here. You can scan that QR code at any time to donate. It'll take you right through the process. Any amount is extremely appreciated and helpful for us if you're able to. We greatly appreciate it. So all throughout this broadcast, that QR code up on the screen. Now here's our update as it stands right now, $714,000. And there you see the number going up. While we're live here on screen, a donation just came in. So we'll be monitoring that throughout our time here on the stream as well. Over $700,000. We can't tell you how much we appreciate every single one of those dollars. And again, any amount is extremely helpful. And the thing about this particular initiative, it all goes to this community right here, Hampton Roads. The people that you live with and work with and interact with every single day are the people who are helped by these donations. And to sort of further illuminate what we're doing here, we have Rob Shuford, the chairman of the Peninsula Board of Directors, joining us now in studio. Rob, welcome to the studio. I hope you're having a good Tuesday so far.
Oh, yeah, we're
here.
having a great day. And if we hit 750 while we're on the air, I'm quite certain that Adelia, who's sitting right over there, is going to scream. So it's okay if you hear a little yelp in the background.
That's right. Adelia Thompson is here as well. If you do hear yelling in the background, no need to be alarmed. It's all celebration. And Rob, you're here to tell us a little bit more about, Give Local 757 Day, what this is, what it's for. I've got some questions for you, but I'd love to just start with, if you could summarize as someone who's so directly involved, what it is we're trying to accomplish here.
Well, that's a great question, Connor, because what Give Local 757 does, it gives everyone in the community a chance to go in, take a look at all these wonderful nonprofits that have signed up to participate in this. I think we have 262 actively participating this year, and give just a little bit of their hard-earned money to support these nonprofits. And as you said earlier, every single dime of this goes directly to the nonprofits, and that goes directly to the good work that they're doing here in the community.
And there's so many nonprofits. I have a list here of just a small amount of what is being helped out. I'm wondering, though, first, how do these nonprofits get involved with this? How are they selected, and how are they sort of on the list, if you will?
So this is a process, we're in our 14th year of this, and this is a process that has been building momentum every single year. And so some of it's word of mouth, some of it's part of the great outreach that the Peninsula Community Foundation does, and some of it is people just hearing about it on shows like this on the day that the Give Local Day. And then, so the next year we have more and more nonprofits that sign up, but it's totally voluntary. They're not issued invitations. There's no special vetting or registration or anything like that. They just sign up, and we provide all the training that they need in advance. We start planning this and talking to the nonprofits months in advance to get them ready for this and put their campaigns together. And that's how you get to these types of numbers that you're seeing today.
And we've reached 718,000 now officially. We've already had 3, 4, 5 donations come in just since we've been talking to Rob. And what's different this year? What's new about Give Local this year?
Well, it's just so much bigger, and that is due to the wonderful work that so many people have done over the years. You're going to be speaking to Adelia Thompson in a few minutes, and she is running the Peninsula Community Foundation now, and the amount of energy that her and her team, Tammy Flynn and many others, put into this is just amazing. We also have a great partner behind the scenes that creates the engine, the software engine, to accomplish all of this stuff. So there's so many different organizations participating. If it's okay, I just wanted to kind of give people like a smattering of what they might find. So if you go to the site, you're going to see like we said, hundreds of organizations up there. Many of them are up there are the businesses of the heart. So if you're looking for a homeless shelter to support, or a crisis center, or a food bank, all of those are represented. If your passion is youth and taking care of our youth, whether it's through literacy or after-school arts and music programs, or youth sports, or youth development for at-risk youth, there's all kinds of organizations that support that. If you're looking for organizations that support our families, whether it be through mental health counseling or support for our military families, those organizations are up there too. Some of those are on the leaderboard right now if you go up there and check that out. If you really love the social causes or the environment, you're going to find organizations that support our museums, our theaters, our parks, our historical landmarks, the Chesapeake Bay. If you are really moved by animal welfare, you're going to find no-kill rescue shelters and wildlife rehabilitation. So there's something up there for everyone, no matter what it is that you hold deep in your heart and you want to support. There's an organization for you that is participating today.
And even I'll add on as well, and I apologize if I missed this, is especially for this area, veteran and military families. There are services involved in this initiative to specifically help veteran and military families, and few places more than Hampton Roads is that such a significant part of our livelihood and our kind of communities.
Absolutely.
So,
and I think if you pull up the leaderboards, I think you'll find some of those organizations on our leaderboards today, because it is such a great need and such a great cause for this community.
How, as someone who, again, has clearly put so much work into this, and we do have that leaderboard here, if we want to pull that up, we can take a look at it. Rob, walk us through what we're seeing here.
Yeah, so what you have here are two different lists. You have lists of organizations, the top 10 are on the screen, organizations by the number of donors, and then that's on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side by the number of dollars raised. So you might think that they would be the same organizations, and sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. Some organizations get many small donations, and some are getting so significantly larger donations, but fewer numbers of donations. And that goes to the strategy that they executed moving into today. How they reached out to their donor lists, what they asked for, whether it was a broad appeal or a very narrow appeal to some people that have capacity to give significant dollars.
And I see the Armed Services YMCA of Hampton Roads. We had a representative from that organization here on Live Impact.
Great organization.
Not too long ago.
Really
Great
happy.
organization.
They were number one in both categories, I think, going into this morning. And you can see that they still are way up there on the dollars raised. Good for them.
Absolutely.
They've worked very hard this year.
This also gives a nice sort of summary of what you were saying, the variety of things. You have generic theater on the move, the Muse Writers Center, a food bank of southeastern Virginia and the Eastern Shore, Thrive Peninsula, which is obviously an organization that we've worked with quite a bit, Williamsburg Parent Cooperative Preschool. I mean, this really speaks to the variety of things that will be helped.
And I think I've gotten emails from almost all of them already this morning. They're doing such a great job. I just want to kind of make an ask of everybody who's watching today, and that is, if you can take 5 to 7 minutes out of your day, here's what I would ask for you to do. Easy 3-step process. Step 1, take a minute or two to think about what cause is most impactful to you. Whether it's some cause that you're just really passionate about, whether it's an organization that may have helped one of your loved ones when they were in need or in crisis, or whether it's just an organization that's down the street and local. And then as part of that process, think about your own personal or family budget. And how much do you have in that budget to help support those organizations today? Is it $10? Is it $20? Is it $100? So then step 2, either go to the QR code here or type in Give Local 757 givlocal757day.org and go to that website and scroll through the organizations just like you just did, Connor. Take 2 or 3 minutes, scroll through there, and we make it really easy for you. You can type in keywords for your cause. You can search for an organization. I believe you can even put in your zip code to find something that's right there in your own neighborhood. And then finally, take 1 or 2 minutes to put in your payment information and finalize that gift. That's all it takes, 5 to 7 minutes.
And that last part is so cool. That zip code part is so
Yes,
cool.
isn't it?
I think our next guest, Adelia Thompson, will be able to speak a little bit more. I want to ask Adelia a little bit about that sort of specific aspect of things. Rob, you're the best. We appreciate you coming on. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I just wanted to say that we're so very proud. Town Bank is so very proud to be part of this. Bob Aston founded a great bank 27 years ago. Over that course of time, Town Bank and its foundation have given back $140 million to the community. Just in 2025 alone, more than $17 million. So we couldn't be more honored and proud to be working with the Peninsula Community Foundation on Give Local 757 today.
Okay, thanks so much. I thought for sure once we got over 725,000, we'd hear Adelia. So let's go.
There we are.
We're
Look
at
at that.
726K here.
And over 7,000 donors.
That's right. Over 7,000 donations,
Yes.
over 4,000 donors. And we're going to take a quick break here. We're going to come back with Adelia Thompson, another special guest in studio to talk Give Local 757. We'll be right back. All right, back here on Live Impact News today. You guys know what we're talking about at this particular point in time. Give Local 757 Day is here. We've been discussing this on 13 News Now for some time, and today is the day. Let's go ahead and get another update. When we left to go to break, we were at 725,000 and change. We're already at $727,405 here. So the donations are rolling in, and man, do we appreciate it. There's this QR code on your screen. If you would like to get in on this party, join in on the donations. I think the very best thing about this particular initiative is that these are local nonprofits right here, Hampton Roads, the stores you go into, the services you use in your community, the people you interact with every day. That's who benefits from these donations. It stays right here in Virginia and in Hampton Roads. And Adelia Thompson joins us now, the CEO of Peninsula Community Foundation. And Adelia, I think that particular aspect of things is what I most want to ask you about, because I know you had a quote here, "Go home and take care of what is right in front of you." I believe that's a quote from Mother Teresa.
It is.
And that's kind of what you used as really the foundation of building this Give Local 757 Day. Tell me how you came about that quote and why it works for this.
Well, it is for this year because this is my second year with the Community Foundation, but I had the privilege of serving for 14 years at Christopher Newport University, and while Paul Tribble was president. So Paul, in addition to being an extraordinary leader in a lot of ways, was an amazing storyteller. And one of the most powerful stories he told was actually about his wife, Rosemary. Rosemary traveled across the globe to spend some time and work alongside Mother Teresa. And at the end of her time with that amazing saint, she turned to her and said, "How in the world do you overcome the overwhelm of need?" And she said, "Rosemary, go home and take care of what's right in front of you." And to me, that's what Give Local is all about. It is the opportunity afforded all of us once a year to be reminded of the power that the nonprofit organizations have in every one of our lives, directly and indirectly, and it gives us the chance to take care of them.
And it's something that you also speak a little bit about how, especially nowadays with how everything is in the news cycle at this point in time, everything can feel so big that it makes you feel as though there's absolutely no way that you can make a difference. This provides an opportunity for you to make that difference. How is it so perfectly suited for each and every individual to feel like, they have a role, they have influence?
Because, as Rob said earlier, basically with 3 clicks and 5 minutes, any gift that you can make of any amount to any organization that you care about or has changed your life or reshapes your neighborhood or has reshaped the world of your child, 5 minutes, one gift of any amount makes all the difference in the world. It's how you take care of what's right in front of you. You change this world one person, one life at a time. And on Give Local, you can do it one gift at a time.
And for you said 14 years at Christopher Newport University. This is your second year doing this. How'd you get into this, and what's it been like for you sort of starting this journey?
It's been extraordinary. I mean, I've spent all of my career in nonprofit work, but a lot of it in higher education. And I loved every minute of my time at Christopher Newport. When I retired from there and was given the chance to join the family at the foundation, it's been an eye-opening, soul-deepening experience like nothing else I could ever have imagined. And to learn all the amazing heroes across this community who take care of the least among us every single day. That's what this foundation is here to do. We're here to serve those who serve our neighbors. We're not on the front line feeding people or helping homeless pets or taking care of our older neighbors. We aren't, but we are here to serve those who do, and Give Local is perhaps the most public way that we do that.
And 262 nonprofits involved here. Now, when we spoke with Rob, we kind of went through a more broad list and pointed out some of those on the top 10 on the leaderboard. Is there any organization that stands out to you that you'd like to highlight kind of as a part of this wide swath of opportunities?
Well, what I'm going to say is thank you to you all, because you help us tell the stories of so many of those organizations every single year. And obviously some of them have more visual stories that can be told. Others are the more quiet heroes behind the scenes. But it's because you all have been our partner for so many years, and you help us tell the individual stories of those nonprofits that makes all the difference. And I think I should also say about Town Bank, as a presenting sponsor, not only does their support help us provide incentive gifts and challenge opportunities across this day for the nonprofits to rise to their best occasion, day of, but it helps support the tools that we use to provide the capacity for the day. And Rob has been incredibly generous with his time personally this year. As the Peninsula Chairman, he has participated in the training of hundreds of our local nonprofits so that they're better fundraisers and better utilize this day to make the most of it for their organizations.
And well, first of all, Adelia, you flatter us. Thank you so much. We appreciate the kind
Sincere.
words. And you speak to Rob giving so much of his time. We can certainly attest to that, because we were very late getting in touch with Rob this morning, and he was here ready to go. No issues, no problem. Just a superstar on the microphone, as are you. So thank you guys for coming in and doing this as well. Thank you for putting on this entire initiative. And so many people will benefit from this. What is today like for you? Has a deep breath happened since you woke up?
Yeah.
Okay.
And waking up happened a very long time ago, but not as long ago as it did for Tammy Flynn, who's our communication director and your partner and everyone's partner in making this happen. But it shouldn't, right? We shouldn't take a deep breath until the day is over. Last year, we raised $1.5 million through Give Local. This year, where's that leaderboard? This year, we're tracking very nicely to surpass that handily. I'll also tell you that at 11 o'clock in the morning last year, we had raised about $318,000. When I walked in this studio today at 11 o'clock, it was $675,000. We really are looking at the possibility of this being an extraordinary moment for nonprofit and for all of us who are neighbors across the 757.
Yeah.
I should also say the Hampton Roads Community Foundation has been supportive of us since we started this. Most of our work, the Peninsula Community Foundation, is focused on the peninsula, the 6 municipalities that make up the peninsula proper. But because this is the one program that we do that reaches, it's our bridge and tunnel, right? It's the one that reaches all across the 757. The Hampton Roads Community Foundation has been supportive of us and this endeavor since we started 13 years ago. It really is a partnership that reaches across all of the water and across all of the land and across all the hearts.
Wonderful. Love to hear it. And I know that you've got more interviews to do. You guys will both be on 13 News Now at noon to speak to our linear broadcast audience. So we appreciate you taking a little bit of time to hang with us here on Live Impact News. Good luck today, and we'll do everything we can to help you.
Thank you for your help.
All right. Thank you, Adelia Thompson, for joining us. And we are going to take another break here on Live Impact. When we get back, President Trump's still at the Oval Office speaking about the presidential fitness test, among other things. The Stephon Diggs trial ongoing as well. So plenty more to get to here on this Give Local 757 Day. But that is our most important initiative of the day, without a doubt. That QR code is on your screen. Donate if you're able to. We appreciate you donating. We appreciate you watching. We'll be right back. All right, back here on Live Impact News. Wonderful to have guests here in studio to give us a little bit more of an understanding and a feel for Give Local 757, how important it is, and how great of an initiative it is for the people in this community, in Hampton Roads. Let's check the update chart one more time. $733,460 for a moment, and then it just goes right back up to 519 on the end of that 733 now. The QR code is on your screen if you would like to join in on that number. We greatly appreciate it. We know that for not everyone is in an ideal situation to be able to donate at this time. We understand. If you're able to, we appreciate it. If you're not, thanks for watching, and we're just happy to be a part of this initiative. For the time being, however, we need to get back to Live Impact News. President Donald Trump still speaking at the Oval Office during this presidential fitness proclamation. The presidential fitness test will now be returned to schools, and that is what today's event was about. But he's touched on a number of different topics in the short time that we were visiting with him earlier, including the Strait of Hormuz, the Nobel Peace Prize, ending other wars. So let's listen in to President Trump and see where things stand in the Oval Office right now.
Use it. We can't. I also thought oil would go up to 200, 250, maybe 300. And I knew it would be short term, but I thought it would go. I looked today, it's like at 102. And that's a very small price to pay for getting rid of a nuclear weapon from people that are really mentally deranged. Yeah.
President, just on politics.
The world is like, by the way, other presidents should have done this. 47 years they've been toying with these stupid people. In many cases, stupid people. This should have been done by Obama. He went the other way. He was giving them cash. He sent plane loads of Boeing 757, took the seats out, and put green cash, $1.7 billion in the plane. Every bank in Virginia, D.C., and Maryland was stripped of their cash. They took out all the cash from the banks. They put it into a plane, a Boeing 757 packed with cash, and they flew it to Iran, and they let these guys just, I don't know what the hell they did with it, but they took it and then gave them billions and billions of dollars and bribed them basically to be friends. And after giving them tens of billions of dollars, they screwed Obama, okay? That's not the way we play. No, we do it the old-fashioned way. And they should wave. They're very proud. Maybe you won't see a white flag, but essentially that's already what they are. They should wave the white flag of surrender. In hockey, they say uncle, right? When are they gonna cry uncle? But and they have another expression. If this were a fight, they would stop it. But we have to go out and we have to do it, and it's very sad to see. Even shooting those boats, they've got 3-4 guys. They got a little machine gun in front. They're shooting at one of our ships that's meant for it. It bounces. They don't even know they're being shot at. And then they take it out with an Apache helicopter in about 2 seconds. They go, Apache ship, northwest 10 degrees. Turns around, boom. I don't like that, you lose people. All these people, it's so unnecessary. It's so unnecessary. One thing we have the greatest military in the world. I built it because I built it in my first term. I didn't think I'd be using it, at least so much in my second term. But we have the greatest military, the best equipment in the world. We had 111 missiles shot at one of our assets, one of the aircraft carriers, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. Think of this, 111 111 sophisticated missiles shot at one of our aircraft carriers. And every single one of those missiles was shot down with no problem whatsoever. If you would have said that 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it would have been an impossibility. You would have had to take those shots. Every single missile was laying in the water far away. I mean, not even, they weren't even upset. And they're the coolest people. If you ever see them, you know, Pete, when they do the missile, when they do it, right? They say, missile coming, and these guys go, it's like almost like, oh, I'm just, blah, blah, blah. You know, they're very smart. These are extremely smart people. They go to very good schools, but they shot down, who would think they're like a needle in a haystack. 111 missiles shot, 111 missiles were knocked down into the water. Didn't even get close to the aircraft carrier. No, there's nobody has a military like this. Okay, a couple of more, and then I want to go out and watch these great athletes. I'm not talking about him and him and him. I'm talking about these kids, because I think you're going to be far better as an athlete than anybody behind you, okay? Do you agree? I think you're going to be a better athlete. What sport do you play?
I play football.
Oh, there you go. Do you think you're going to be better than him? You'll be faster. You're going to be so much faster than him. He's going to be like lightning. He was known for his speed, by the way. I don't know. I think pretty good. What sport do you play?
I don't play sport because my mom didn't sign me up, but I'm trying to play gymnastics.
Gymnastics? Oh, wow. That's a good sport. It's a great sport. What do you play?
I do dance, but I also do volleyball.
Oh, nice. You're nice and tall to be a volleyball player. What about you? Look at this guy's a big guy.
Me, I'm doing football right now, and next year I'm going to be trying to do powerlifting.
Oh, whoa.
Yes,
Whoa. Already, let's go.
Whoa.
That's awesome.
And you'll never compete against women in powerlifting.
No, sir.
Did you see that they had a man powerlifter and he decided to go the opposite direction? Took a record, stood for 18 years. He beat it by 119 pounds. Okay? They put the little quarter of an ounce. For 18 years it stood. This guy came, he was a failed powerlifter. But he went on the other side and he decided that he wanted to go into women's sports, and he broke the record by 118 pounds. Think that's fair? So I don't think we'll have to worry about you.
Yes, sir.
You're going to do good. Are you a strong person?
Yes, sir.
Good. You think you can take me in a fight? I think you could. Hey, that would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? How about you? What sport do you play?
I play volleyball, and in the summer I'm trying to get into soccer.
Wow. Wow. And with your height, do you smash the ball, the volleyball? You get up high. Can you jump high?
Not very.
Soccer might be better. I don't want to be. I'm just looking. I think she'd be a great soccer player. That's
Okay, back here in the Live Impact News studio as President Trump is wrapping up this event in the Oval Office, it looks like, or maybe getting close. That's Gary Player there that you see on the screen. Legendary golfer. Todd Golden behind him, head coach at the University of Florida basketball program. Bryson DeChambeau, of course, along with some kids who have varying degrees of athletic ambition. And this is for, again, that reinstitution of the presidential fitness test. And that was today's proclamation. And today's initiative is, of course, Give Local 757. $740,000 for local nonprofits. That'll be happening all day. We'll be back at noon on 13 News Now and at 1 o'clock on this platform right here. We hope to see you then.